Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 9 of the Jurassic Park Atlantis. My name is Tommy. I will be your host tonight, as every night. I don't know if you're watching this at night. I do imagine that some of you are binge watching stuff like this just before you go to sleep. I sometimes do it too, especially on videos like these, like park building videos. But this is completely off topic. Here you can see me preparing these last few enclosures. We are in the penultimate episode right now. I wanted to do just a forest here because we will have another enclosure behind this enclosure. That's a little sneak peek for you. But we will do that next time. Today we will focus on two enclosures. We'll be focusing on the Deinonychus enclosure and also the Monolophosaurus enclosure. They are pretty big for small theropods, but I really did want to do something different again. Well, I did something different for the Deinonychus enclosure. I did not go for something different with the Monolophosaurus enclosure. It will be a repeat, but I would say a better one. A better repeat from an enclosure that we already have here. But when you are doing a park of these proportions, at a certain point, you do have to go for something similar. It cannot always be just unique, even though you try. But I had this idea for the Deinonychus enclosure that was basically the same enclosure that I did in Evolution 1. This is a nice little guest section. I don't know if it's a guest section because that doesn't have any shops because they couldn't fit, and I was like, screw it, whatever. They're not gonna have shops. They will have a bathroom though. Just that was the only thing that I could fit here, but I was very satisfied with this path because again it was something different. I wasn't going around in circles like I have been doing during the building of this whole thing, even though as you can see there are circles incorporated in this, but I wanted to again do it in a different way and try to put in these palms in the middle of these circles, try to have some different kind of design. As I was saying, the Deinonychus enclosure will be unique and the Monolophosaurus enclosure not so much, but we will have a very unique enclosure next week. That's the grand finale. I can, but I do not want to tell you yet what it's going to be. I am extremely excited to build that one enclosure because that's one that I was building in Evolution 1, but the space was kind of limited because I was building Atlantis in Evolution 1 before I had the expanded terrain mods. I wasn't using mods at first, only after some time. I will not be using mods in this game until the updates stop coming out because I don't want to screw it up because I'm not a very technical type and I am very much afraid that the game would break and I wouldn't recover from it. I guess I don't know how these things works, honestly. But yeah, the enclosure that I'm planning, I'm going to do it much bigger than I was able to do it in Evolution 1, much grander, and it will just be a pure joy. And so was this enclosure after I did this monorail thing, after I figured out how to do it and where to do it. It's always a game of fitting with these monorails. If you want to create some structure, something nice with it, other than guest transport, you can create structures like these. And I knew that it was supposed to be like square, I guess. I wanted it to be a square. I wanted it to be this kind of a home for the Deinonychus, but then it turned into this whole something, and I called it a palace. Now it's the Deinonychus Palace, because it's much bigger than I originally planned it would be, but I would say it looks very decent, especially from that one viewing gallery that sees right in the middle between those pillars. I was putting some rocks in there. I was trying to not to delete any of those pillars because it's a possibility. It's a real danger when you're putting the rocks down or putting whatever down. Like I was especially careful with palms and like stuff like that, not to delete one of those pillars because they are pretty much aligned. I was surprised how well they aligned actually. And now you see me putting down some rocks. I love my rocks. I love my realism in these enclosures. And we're adding more and more. And also I made sure to add some in the pathway. So this is basically, as I imagine it, like in the old Atlantis, this was the place for like the higher strata of the society, where they lived in a palace. And the enclosure next to it is the ancient city ruins. So I can already tell you that the Monolophosaurus enclosure will also be city ruins, but I feel like I did a better job at that one than I did with the Metriacanthosaurus enclosure, even though I like the Metriacanthosaurus enclosure. But it happens every single time that you do something for the second time and you do it better. I always do this is the view that I was talking about. I always do my enclosures better when I'm doing tutorials after I premiere the enclosure, when I premiere a new park. I always manage to somehow do it better and be more satisfied with it when I'm building it for the second time. So that's why the ancient city ruins will be looking a little better than those from the metric and the source. But also I was working with more space. So yeah, these are the guest sections in the middle. And since we saw much of me like decorating this middle circle, I will just skip through this very quickly. I will show you some things, but most of all, you can watch it in episode 8 because I was dedicating some part of the time to these guest sections, but I said to myself that I don't want to lose you guys midway through the video, so I cannot be showing you like literally everything because this might get boring. I mean, I do have to admit that as I was complaining the last time, that it sometimes gets boring when you are doing this repetitive work, and especially this circle in the middle was very repetitive because it was basically all the same. And that's the one mechanic from the prehistoric kingdom that I actually do love, that you can copy things and just slap it somewhere, because I totally would have done it here, but yeah. So I said to myself that I would quickly just do it so that we like have it, and then I will just skip through it in this video. And now we are building the enclosure, so it's another ancient city ruins. It was fitting that you would have a city to one side and then a city to the other side of the palace. Even though the palace is not like the main thing, I don't want to say too much. This is a bridge that I was trying to do. I was like, okay, let's do a bridge in the city that the people could use, the people that used to live there. Even though these rocks are humongous when you compare them to people. I mean, they are bigger than the dinosaurs. Sometimes you don't realize how big these rocks actually are, that even the smallest rocks are like big when compared to humans. So yeah, sometimes these scaling things are a little bit tricky. But Yeah, the palace is not is not like the most majestic, the most grand thing that we have in Atlantis, because that will be coming in episode 10 next week. And I'm so excited I can't stop talking about it, and I'm sorry, I should be talking about the actual enclosure, but what can I say about the actual enclosure? It's rocks. It's rocks. I can tell you another Slovak word in the meantime while I'm putting down all these rocks. What haven't I said? The word for palace is in Slovak is palac, which is basically the same, it's just different pronunciation. But I'll try to figure something out. Last time it was dirt, before that it was city, right? It was mesto. So this is another mesto. Which of these objects haven't we named? I'm not really sure, but I can. A fountain is fontana. You are getting an extra because I haven't prepared anything prior to recording this, and I'm sorry for that. Oh yeah, the elevation. We're playing with the elevation, so I can tell you how to say hill in Slovak, and hill in Slovak is kopec. So that's your Slovak word for today. Hill as in kopec. And I'll shut up about the Slovak thing because I'm pretty sure that you are getting bored. And putting some plants because it's the ruins of the ancient city, so that's why it has to be overgrown. And as I was saying before, I was trying to play with the elevation in this enclosure because in all of this, like this whole park, this was a moment when I found out that I had a huge rock in front of the viewing gallery and the people would see nothing. So I was just like, okay, let me repair this. And I put in these sticks to resemble like the railings of a bridge, and I put those sticks, like linearly next to how the buildings stood. They were decorative, and then the buildings collapsed and just the stones were left. And also these pillars, these fiery pillars, were left along with the sticks. They were like decorations for people's homes, I guess. I'm pretty happy with how this enclosure turned out, and we will be hopping into the capture mode to see the enclosures in a second, so we'll see you in a second. And we're here, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, the park is almost finished, and something is screaming so hard. So many sounds in here now. Like, wow. But the only thing left to do is the outskirts, so the park really is almost finished. But now let me show you the things we did in this episode. So we did this guest section. Let me quickly go through it. It's basically a long path, but these people seem happy. They seem to be walking fine. These are happy. Everyone is happy. Everyone is like, yay, we are in Atlantis and there's dinosaurs. There is dinosaurs on this dinosaur park tour. And this is the palace. This is the Deinonychus. This is the one skin that I did random, and it was very bad, but this one I love. This one is very nice. I will list the skins in the description as always. And we have another. Ooh, this is a whole school of Deinonychus. Wait a second. Nice. Look at them how happy they are. I actually never saw them interact. Wow. But as you can see, they are happy as ever. They have their little palace. And this is the other guest section that we have decorated today. I haven't shown you much of it, but it is basically in the same style as to the other side. So this is basically it. Let me quickly go through it. Here we have fountains that are mirroring the other side. Here we have these pillars. here we have these sticks, pillars and sticks. That's what I'm showing you here. And planters, of course. And over here we can visit the ruins of the ancient city, where we have the Monolophosaurus with green skins again. I love the Monolophosaurus. It's like this one wasn't in Evolution 1, so it wasn't in my Evolution 1 Atlantis build. Whoopsie daisy, I'm in a tree. But I felt like it would be a very nice addition to this particular park, to this particular enclosure. And I love how it turned out. I love how it looks. It looks much better than the what is it? Metriacanthosaurus enclosure. It really resembles an ancient city much better. Just look at these sticks. I don't know why I've been so fascinated with these sticks lately. So again, I will list the skins in the description. And I think that's it. We have one episode left, and then we have the park tour. So in the last episode, we will be building over here. The park is getting really big, and it's getting kind of laggy. Actually, it takes forever to load, but I really do hope that nothing happens that would prevent me from finishing these parts, because I have something majestic planned, and I really do hope it works out. So I will leave you off here. My name is Tommy. Thank you for watching this video. If you like the video, please like, comment, and share. And if you like my content, and if you want to see the grand finale of this park, please do consider subscribing, because there is much more coming than just this. We have tutorials, we have park tours, we have scenic views, videos, park building tips, and all the jazz, all kind of stuff. So I will be very happy to see you here again. And till the next time, bye bye. Thank you again.